there might be an airplane without a pilot, and I have known some early birds who never got their worm, and I'm feeling lonely as summer turns to autumn. The wind is blowing things around, and baby, you're not one of them. The woman giving haircuts, well, she asks all kinds of questions, and I know it's just formality, but it all seems so rude because I am trying hard.
I remember dumb stuff that nobody else remembers, and that doesn't really play a key role in who I am or where I've been. But I guess it's kind of funny. That's why it's really surprising that reminiscing about a pair of shoes that I have worn numerous times in 3 years is complicated. I got these Chucks after I left my other pair of Chucks on the bleachers during a soccer game in 7th grade. And I went back to look for those Chucks. I was so heartbroken. I went back and looked for them and they were gone. So some idiot stole them. And the reason that I say idiot is because they were beaten up just about as much as these. They didn't have any missing exterior right here, but they were brown and not white, and one of the little silver rings had fallen off. I left them on the bleachers at a soccer game. Someone stole them. And I went through a phase where I wore those shoes without socks in the summer because I thought I was cool. And they were really gross because of that. They didn't smell that good. So you're an idiot if you ever stole my shoes from the bleachers. Idiot. So I got these shoes, and of course they were white and shiny. And I don't think I have ever washed these shoes, maybe once or twice. But obviously it didn't do that much for them. I've done a lot of things in these shoes, and I'm going to try to remember at least some of the interesting ones. I wore these Chucks to a lot of first things because I have really narrow feet and it worked. They were very comfortable and they went with everything. I wore them on the first day of 8th grade. I wore a zebra print Anyway, I wore these on the first day of 8th grade. I wore a zebra print tube top as a skirt with a purple shirt from Charlotte Russe. Oh, just kidding. I didn't wear these on the first day of 8th grade. I wore these on the first day of 8th grade. But it's sentimental nonetheless. Anyway, I wore these on the first day of 9th grade, and I wore them when I auditioned for show choir and made it, and I wore these on the first day of show choir camp. What's something interesting I've done in these shoes? Okay, so my family, we do genealogy, which is basically tracing your family tree and doing awesome stuff and looking for their grave sites. We found, my mom, she went and looked for directions, and then she printed off a GPS satellite map of where a supposed cemetery was for our family, and we hiked in the woods. I hiked in these shoes, and we found my ancestors' graves, and it was an awesome day. We had no idea what we were going to find, and we actually found it. So that's something cool that I've done in these shoes. Speaking of show choir camp, it was this one. Right here, where that line is missing, the little black line, the only line that is left on these shoes is right here. That little black line that's missing. When I was initiated into show choir, which wasn't really that scary, we were just rolled down a hill and put shaving cream on our faces. It was really, really fun, actually. My friend Katie, she rolled over me, and it got my little black line stuck, and it started sticking out, so we peeled it off. And she still feels bad about that, but makes a good story, and every time I look at that part, I always think of how much fun I had that year.
I can't recall the feeling.
not every day, but I wore these shoes a lot to my first job at the wave pool this summer. I wore shoes on my first interning job for film. It was for a lottery commercial, and I had so much fun doing that, and I learned so much, and I was like the youngest person to be there. It was really cool. And then because of that, the newspaper interviewed me because they found out about me through that, and so I wore these when I had my picture taken for the newspaper article. It was really cool. I also wore these shoes. My first footsteps in New York City were taken in these shoes. It's so weird to think back on everything I've done in these countless games of Spotlight. In 8th grade, I basically lived on the announcements, and I remember the first day that I did my first broadcast. And wore these shoes. Formal. We took pictures in the ice. I had to take off my heels and put on these. So many beach trips and birthday parties and civic center events. And I guess what it really comes down to is even the ones that don't seem that interesting to you, in my head I'm just like, yeah, that was really cool. So even though this was a lot shorter than I expected it to be, because I'm having a hard time coming up with everything I've done, because it's been 3 whole years. Because originally what made me want to make this is that I made a list of the things that I'd done in my old Chucks, and it was like, rode my first upside down roller coaster, met Harry and the Potters, which if you don't know, there's this genre of music called wizard rock. Go Google it, just look it up. Just look it up. I'm not going to try to explain it. And there was ones like, I was at PacSun and a guy smiled at me. I wrote down weird stuff. But whatever it is, I just feel really weird buying a new pair of shoes because these Chucks have been through so many things with me, and I wore them like almost every day. So I'm just saying goodbye to a lot of memories and opening up a lot of new memories in my new Chucks. And so far, all I've done is go to Taco Bell.
The best man that I know. Oh, El Paso, won't you save a place for a girl like me? I am awful sad to leave you, glad to have known you, and happy to have had your company.